G'day everyone, JoeRilla again, and welcome to a brand new series. I hope you can't see my mouse pointer. It's wound up on the screen somehow. So this is quite obviously Gran Turismo 4. I'm playing on a PS2 emulator, the same as I did with Gran Turismo 2, and the same as I have been doing with Gran Turismo 2 in the streams. Now, the main reason I'm doing this is because I had an idea with it, and I thought it'd be interesting. Pretty much, the title of the video will probably give it away. Now, in the Gran Turismo mode, you got a choice of cars. Obviously, you got fantastically engineered cars, such as the fantastic FPV Typhoon. Which, is probably my favourite car in this game. Oh dear, it's 46 grand, I can't afford that. Oh dear, that's terrible. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to do what you usually do in a Gran Turismo game and go through the used car market. Now, this is split into three: 80s, early 90s, late 90s. Which one am I? Okay, I'm in the late 90s, so you're not going to find much for 10 grand here. There's this Toyota Starlet, which I believe is turbocharged. Look, you really can get better for your money, realistically. Now, the challenge that's being set, and I've set this challenge myself, because I don't know if anyone's ever tried to do this before. They probably have, given this game's from 2005. Yes, I'm doing another old game. What of it? You can obviously, probably find on YouTube somewhere that, someone's done this before, but I'm going to try and get through as much of this game as possible, like, not including driving missions, because they're fucking boring, but as many of, these events, where are they, beginner events, as much of all this as possible using only second-hand cars. That's the challenge. Oh, I can't even look at that yet. There may be I may have to break the rules to progress, but that won't be that obviously will be, as I said, it's as much as possible without using a brand new or a prize car. So every single car that I'll be using in this mini-series, I don't know how long it's going to go for, so I'm just going to call it a mini-series, is going to be a second-hand car. Now, I've had a quick look through our options here. Now, once again, obviously, I seem to be going turbocharged all-wheel drive. We have a Lancer Evo GSR. Now, I do believe that's the original Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. So let's have a quick look at the spec sheet. We've got 166 kilowatts and 1240 kilos, and we got 9.5 grand. So turbocharged all-wheel drive, fantastic. There is something else that I found over here in the 80s, because I did have a quick look through here. Now, where is it? It's down here somewhere. Something that's kind of similar. So, Mitsubishi Galant VR4. Now, I used to actually own the successor to this car. I had a HJ, I want to say, VR4. 1996 model, anyway. And that was a fantastic car. This came before it. So, we've got 146 kilowatts, 1340 kilos. And it's 9.7. Now, why is that such a tough decision to make? Because, obviously, you can add more power, because these two cars have the same engine. Those two cars have exactly the same engine. And a little bit of trivia, Evo 1 to 8 all have the exact same engine. But, obviously, and I'll try and stop rambling in a minute and actually get to some driving. Where is the professional events? It's over here. There will be, where is it? Something, somewhere, I think, hang on, it's in here. Here. 80s. This is what's making me lean more towards the Galant. Oh, fuck off. is I can get some absolutely baller Japanese 90s cars. You know, GTRs, Supras, WRXs, etc. An Evo 1 is not going to cut it there. Whereas in the 80s events, you'd be surprised how few cars will probably be able to keep up with a VR4. Well, not unless I face that GTR, but I can't afford that. But I am going to, for the sake of difference, run with the VR4. So we're going to go to the VR4. Use this car now. Yes, well, I don't really have another option, do I? Sweet. Okay, so there we go. And now I have $200 to my name, which is nothing. So we're not even going to bother trying to do any... Oh my god. This is going to take forever to save up money. Okay. Now, I don't know how long I've been recording for. So, I'm going to try not to make this too long. But I'm going to do... probably at least these 3. On the... of these events. Now, because this is an emulator, this does take a bit longer to load the events, I've found. And there is a bit of stuttering and glitchiness. But, as I said, I'm doing this largely for the challenge. And also, I feel as though I need to not so much take a break from Minecraft, but, you know, just do it, maybe do it a little bit less for a couple of weeks. You know, just chill out a bit. Here we go. See that big ass frame stutter? I thought the game's about to crash. Now, one thing I didn't look at was the Ks on this car. 84,000. That's not too bad. It needs an oil change. I forgot that was a thing. Because whenever you bought a second-hand car in this game, you had to change the oil straight away. So this is probably going to run like a piece of shit to start out with. Alright, now the physics engine in this game is completely different from Gran Turismo's 1, 2, and 3. It actually kind of stands up today, apparently, as a fairly realistic engine. You know, fairly realistic physics model for a video game. Oh, there's a Peugeot. Get rid of it. I don't want to see that damn Peugeot. I hate Peugeots. If you watched my live stream of Gran Turismo 2, not only would you have watched 4 game crashes, but also you would have heard me have a small rant about how I hate Peugeots and how I don't really like Audis either. Also, and this is something else I mentioned in the live stream as well, this game, or actually a lot of games that aren't Need for Speed games, sort of mess with your senses a bit. Because if you come off playing Need for Speed, and then you come into playing something like this, your sense of speed, because, you know, of perspective or whatnot, the sense of speed is nowhere near as high in these games as what it is in Need for Speed. Like, I'm doing 100 k's an hour into this corner, and it feels like I'm barely moving. Whereas, obviously, we all know that 100 k's an hour is quite quick, and even on a Need for Speed game, 100 k's an hour feels, you know, a lot faster than what 100 k's an hour in this game does. That's just par for the course, though. It's just differences in perspective from the games. But there we go. That was kind of uneventful. But oh, look at all these rubbish cars. See, this is why you pick a turbocharged all-wheel drive car, if you can. Is because it can do that. Alright, $600. That is chump change, let's be honest. Right, come on loading screens. Bugger off. Alright, now what we're going to do... Oh, we had a massive frame stutter there. Alright, GT Auto, because we need to changeth the oil. Change ye oil. You see these little pretty cool animations that happen. I'm pretty sure that's not running at full frames though. It may not run like such a piece of shit now. Oh, excuse me. It always seemed a bit random as to whether he came back out the front or came out the arse of the car. Fuck. I'd be pissed off if a mechanic dropped my car that quickly. Alright, cool. Quickly jump back in here. What's next? Driving park, beginner course, 4 laps. How hard can it be? Excuse me. Alright, now get ready for some more frame stutter and some more silliness. Yeah, there we go. Oil light's gone. But yeah, as we progress through this challenge, I don't know how many different cars we're going to either be able to use or simply going to have the option to use. I really don't know. Obviously this car is going to cover a lot of ground because, you know, obviously turbocharged all-wheel drive, you know, it's allowed in the turbo events, the four-wheel drive events, the general events. This particular car is allowed in the 80s events because it's a 1989 car, so it's the same age as me. But I'm just feeling as though that might get a bit boring. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Leave your thoughts down below of my car, this car, the choice of this car, and also, you know, other potential cars to choose from. You know, I asked these questions when I ran the Gran Turismo 2 series, and no one answered. But I'm hoping, you know, we've got a bigger pool of cars to choose from, and an actual set challenge now. So I'm hoping that that, you know, this might be a little bit more popular. Plus, it's a newer game, about 6 years new. It's still old, but you know, it's over 10 years old. This is I'm gonna try and just keep chatting away because, you know, driving on this type of course really isn't that exciting. Nice Ferris wheel over there. You can definitely see the graphical quality as opposed to what we used to deal with Gran Turismo 2. And I should probably I'll have the information in the description as well, but about the emulator that I'm using. But yeah, again, I'm using an emulator, which now it's even more legal this time because I actually do have a PlayStation 2, and I do have a copy of Gran Turismo 4. It was a copy that it was probably the game that took me the longest to save up for because, you know, I was saving chump change pretty much every week, and then eventually I finally got my $40 together to get a second-hand copy of Gran Turismo 4. But that's enough life story. Another bloody Peugeot. Get rid of these damn Peugeots. Someone's going to get upset and accuse me of hate speech against Peugeots the way I'm going. Excuse me. Oh, pardon me. Pig. Alright, we've got $1,400. I don't know what that's going to buy us, but yeah, we need to reduce the weight of the car and get probably work on the drive line, I would say, because the you'd be amazed how much of an impact that has on your performance when you've got a lightweight drive line. Probably coming up to a bit long in the episode, so we'll oh god, frame stutter there, so we'll probably cap off the this first episode after this race. Oh, move your Sirion. I wish you could get those Sirions in Australia, the X4s. You can get a Daihatsu Sirion. I think they call it Daihatsu Boon over in Japan. I think, don't quote me on that, but I know there is a Daihatsu Boon, but I think it might be a different version of a Charade, possibly. I can't quite remember, but oh man, I love little key cars that are all-wheel drive. That's probably what I might get into, actually, if there's a use for them. You know, I'd love to, you know, drive around in some key cars. I've learnt the hard way though, through playing multiple Gran Turismo games, that a key car is not a good first choice. because, you know, there are a lot of instances where you just simply need the power that it doesn't have. Alright. I can say as well, I haven't driven one of these Galant VR4s, but if you ever get a chance to drive a Galant VR4, the 1996 to 2002 models, I definitely recommend it if you get a chance to drive one, especially if it's a manual. If you can find yourself a manual, do have a go, because they are an incredibly responsive car. They're a great car. The only downside, in Australia at least, it might be different where you live, is the parts are so hard to come by. It's ridiculous. Even getting an oil filter was hard, you know, when I wanted to service the damn thing. So I ended up swapping it for an R33 Skyline. But that's another topic for another day. My car history. That might be a live stream discussion topic. Don't ask me to live stream this either, because it's already pushing the limitations of my PC running this. I don't think this would live stream too well. I think either the buffering would kill it, or it would drop too many frames. Even though this is an i7 960 overclocked, it just wouldn't handle it. Maybe if I can scrounge enough to replace the processor with a 980X Extreme Edition, which is what I want, then I will, and then maybe I might be able to get away with it, because obviously that's a 6-core 12-thread. I'm going to just change the topic to computers for a second, and a 6-core 12-thread is really good for streaming games, because games only use about 4 cores, and then you've got 2 more cores which can be used for video rendering and processing and buffering and all that shit. Anyway, back to cars and the game. I'm just blabbering now. I think I have actually run out of things to talk about. Oh yeah, actually working on a Galant VR4 was a pain in the ass too, especially when I had to change the gearbox oil. Oh my god, that took hours, especially if you don't have the right tools. Oh man. Yeah, post your mechanical woes and car hassles in the comments section, please. I would love to start a discussion as to, you know, the experiences that people have had with various cars. There we go. These replays are a pain in the ass, always were. It's a Gran Turismo thing. I don't know why they do it to us. Maybe they want you to see what a mad fella you are. Who knows? I don't know. I don't make these games. If I made a car game, yeah, it would probably never be released. It would probably be like juiced and send me bankrupt. That's why Acclaim doesn't exist anymore, is they tried to make the best racing car game ever in Juiced, which it wasn't a bad game, but I'd hardly call it the best ever made. And because of how many licenses they needed and what have you, it sent them bankrupt. Which is a real shame. But that's the way it goes. Anyways, that's going to be all for now. I'll continue with those events in the next episode. But yeah, I'm out of time now because I have a bit of a ramble at the start. But thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, this is, as I said, not any old racing Let's Play. It's it is a challenge. A challenge to myself, and if anyone else, you know, it does not have 220 kilowatts. See, this is a pain in the ass. It said when I bought the car it had 180, then it said in the pre-race screen that it had 160, and now it's telling me it has 220. Anyways, back on topic. The topic is goodbye. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. See you later.
Yeah. Godspeed, who got speed? Life moves so fast.